My name is Rose, and the day I discovered the truth about my husband began with sunlight too bright to trust. The morning was ordinary. Coffee brewing, birds outside, Dylan humming as he buttoned his shirt. He kissed my hair and said he was meeting a client downtown. His cologne was new, sharp, confident. It did not belong to me. When the door closed, the house sank into a stillness that felt staged. I made the mistake of cleaning his desk, something I rarely touched. Beneath a pile of bills, I found a crisp white folder marked business expense. Inside were printed bank transfers, recent, bold. $80,000. Moved from our joint savings to an account I did not recognize. The recipient's name sat at the top like a signature of betrayal. Aurora Blake. Boutique Aurora. I had heard that name before. She was the woman with gold hair and careless laughter from a charity gala last winter. Dylan had introduced her as a client. I remembered how his hand stayed on her back 1 second too long. Now the evidence was ink on paper. For years I had saved that money, my commissions, bonuses, nights spent working past midnight while Dylan slept. It was supposed to be our security, our safety net. He had called it ours. But the transfer showed one signature, his. When he returned that night, carrying dinner and pretending nothing had changed, I set the folder on the table between the plates. "What is this?" I asked. He glanced, frowned, then smiled like a man rehearsed. "A business loan. Temporary." "From my account," I said. "Our account," he corrected. "My login, my deposits, my initials." He poured wine. "Rose, you are overreacting. She needed help starting her shop. It is good exposure for my firm." "Exposure," I repeated. "You used my money to buy her a dream." He sighed as if I were the problem. "You never believed in taking risks. That is why you need me." Something inside me cooled. "I do not need you," I said quietly. "You need my savings." He looked up sharply. For a heartbeat the mask slipped, the charm, the confidence gone. "Watch your tone," he said. I did not answer. I folded the paper, slipped it back into the folder, and left the table untouched. He called my name twice as I climbed the stairs. I shut the bedroom door and listened to the sound of him pacing below. I sat on the bed, staring at the framed photo of us on our wedding day. His hand on mine, his vows about partnership, trust. Forever. I almost laughed. Forever was shorter than anyone expected. I pulled out my old laptop and logged into the bank. He had transferred the money 2 months earlier, the same week Aurora's boutique opened. I scrolled through her business page. Photos of silk dresses, champagne ribbon cuttings, her smiling with Dylan at her side. "Investors welcome," the caption read. He was not her investor. He was her wallet. I printed every record and locked them in a folder under my desk. No confrontation. Not yet. I needed proof, not emotion. That night, he tried to apologize without words, brought flowers, leaned close, whispered that I had been distant. I smiled thinly. Let him think the storm had passed. Let him keep spending. By morning, I woke with a calm that felt like armor. Revenge was not about rage. It was about rhythm. I brewed coffee, sat by the window, and searched public records for the boutique's address. What I found made my breath catch. The building itself was for sale. Listed quietly. Price negotiable. Available immediately. I closed my eyes and saw the path forming in perfect lines. He had stolen my money to build her dream. I would buy the ground beneath her feet. That night, while Dylan slept, I drafted an email to the real estate agent, under my own name with my own untouched account, and pressed send. By dawn I had one goal, to own the ground under her boutique. The email I sent at midnight was short and sharp. Interested in the property. Need a private showing. Cash ready. At 8 the reply came. Elias Price, realtor. The owner had moved abroad, wanted a quick, quiet sale. 2 shops below, 2 small apartments above. 1 tenant, Boutique Aurora. The irony made my pulse steady. I met Elias that afternoon. He was older, calm, no nonsense. "You're prepared to buy?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "If the numbers are clean." He handed me a key and gestured to the door. "Let's see your investment." The building smelled of new paint and old pride. He showed me the empty unit first, bare walls, sunlight slicing through dust. Solid bones. Then the upper floor, creaky steps, warm wood, ceilings high enough to dream in. Finally, he stopped before the boutique's door. Gold letters spelled Aurora. Music drifted out. Perfume and confidence mixed in the air. Elias spoke quietly. Current tenant's lease runs 1 year, low rent, grace period tight. She's late twice already. My lips curved. That won't be a problem. He studied me. You sound certain. I am, I said. I know her. I could see her through the glass, arranging dresses, laughing with a customer, wearing the same necklace Dylan once said he bought for a client. We moved to the small table in the vacant suite. Elias laid out terms. Fair price. Quick close. Proof of funds. I slid him a folder, my bank letter, no joint accounts. He checked it, nodded once. You're solid. I don't waste time, I said. Before we finished, the boutique door opened. Aurora stepped out with a box in her arms. When she saw me, her smile faltered just for a second. Rose? What a surprise. Downtown meetings, I said evenly. Lovely shop. She hesitated. Is Dylan with you? Not today. Her knuckles whitened around the box. Then she turned, her perfume trailing behind her. The bell chimed like a warning. Elias said nothing, but I could feel his curiosity burn through professionalism. I wrote the offer then and there. Full price. No delay. Cash. Due diligence 7 days. He shook my hand. This will close fast, he said. Good, I whispered. That evening, I drove home with the contract on the seat beside me. Dylan greeted me like a man rehearsing kindness. Rough day? He asked. Productive, I said. He poured wine. You seem different. I just remembered who I am. When he left for dinner with a client, I opened my laptop. An email from Elias waited. Seller accepted. You own the building after inspection. My hand didn't tremble. Not once. I forwarded the documents to Naya Patel, a property lawyer I trusted. Her reply came within minutes. Perfect move. I'll prepare filings. Make sure the tenant knows her rent belongs to you soon. Rent. The word tasted beautiful. At midnight, curiosity won. I logged into Aurora's business portal, public records, easy access. The last rent payment had been late. The one due tomorrow still pending. So she was behind again. I stared at her glossy photo on the boutique site, the caption beneath it reading, Dream fearlessly. I smiled. You will. I drafted one more email, polite and professional. Request tenant estoppel certificate confirming lease compliance. It would reach her through the agent by morning. Downstairs, the clock ticked toward 2. Dylan's car wasn't back. Good. Let him stay gone while the ground shifted. I printed the deed form and pinned it above my desk. The title line waited for one name. Mine. Through the open window, the wind carried faint music, probably from the same boutique, closing for the night, lights dimming over clothes bought with my stolen savings. I whispered to the dark. You built your paradise on my paycheck. Tomorrow your rent check will have my name. At 9 a.m., Elias would call with a quiet warning. Rose, her payment bounced. And that was when my revenge truly began. At 9 sharp my phone rang. Elias never wasted words. Rose, he said, her rent check bounced. Bank confirmed it this morning. I gripped the mug tighter. Send me proof. Already in your inbox, he said. Stamped, dated, and ugly. I opened the file. There it was, Aurora Blake, insufficient funds. The same woman who'd smiled beside my husband in every photo of her boutique's grand opening. The same shop he had built with my savings. I didn't smile. I didn't blink. I just whispered. Perfect. This was the first real crack. And I intended to make it spread. By noon I sat across from my lawyer, Naya Patel, a woman whose voice carried the calm of someone who wins quietly. She's in default, I said, sliding the papers across her desk. Naya scanned them. Grace period? 3 days. Her lips curved slightly. Good. When ownership transfers, you'll send a notice to cure. No emotion. Just terms. I nodded. And after? If she fails again, Naya said, you have the right to terminate. The key is timing. You will not gloat. You will enforce. I liked that word, enforce. It had the chill I needed. That afternoon I parked near the boutique. Through the glass, I watched Aurora pose a mannequin in a soft pink dress. The same shade she wore at that charity gala when Dylan couldn't stop staring. Every time she laughed, my pulse stayed steady. She was late on rent. She was already falling. And she didn't even know I was the ground she was standing on. A courier dropped a thick envelope on her counter. I recognized the logo, Elias's firm. The estoppel certificate. She'd have to sign that everything was in perfect standing. I almost laughed. She'd certify perfection while the bank certified failure. At home, Dylan played husband again. He poured wine, cooked dinner, tried warmth. "How was your day?" he asked. "Interesting," I said. He smiled. "You should relax. You're too tense lately." "Not tense," I said. "Focused." Later that night, I opened my laptop. Elias had sent new files, closing instructions, wire details, and one short note. "Seller accepted accelerated closing. You'll own the building by Thursday." 2 days. 2 days until everything turned. I stared at my reflection in the dark screen. This wasn't rage anymore. This was calculation. I printed the documents, stacked them in a red folder, and labeled it Maple Street, ownership. Next to it, I pinned a simple timeline. Money stolen. Boutique opened. Rent bounced. Title transfer imminent. Each word was an arrow pointing forward. At midnight, Dylan's phone lit on the nightstand. A message flashed. "Can't sleep without you. I memorized it, turned over, and let the silence stretch between us like a blade. The next morning, I arrived at Elias's office early. He greeted me with a handshake and a smile. "Final inspection, clean title, full approval. Congratulations, Ms. Whitmore." We sat at a table bathed in cold light. He spread the papers out carefully. "Sign here," he said. "Once the wire clears, you're officially the new owner." I picked up the pen and signed. Ink met paper. Ownership transferred. My heartbeat didn't even change. When I lifted my pen, the office door opened. Dylan walked in, smiling, confident, the man who believed he still controlled the world. "Rose," he said, pretending surprise. "You won't believe this. I found an incredible property deal downtown. Perfect investment." I turned the deed toward him. "You mean this one?" He froze. His mouth opened, then closed. What is that?" "The building on Maple Street," I said softly. "The one housing your mistress's boutique." His color drained. "You bought it." I leaned forward, voice steady. "With what's left of my money, yes." For the first time in years, Dylan had no words. That same hour, Aurora would open her boutique door to a notice. Rent check returned. Landlord changed. Her signature mistake was now printed in my name. I left the closing table with keys cold in my palm. The folder in my bag carried one sentence that changed everything. Owner. Rose Whitmore. I drove straight to Maple Street. Through the boutique window, Aurora stood arranging silk as if beauty could hide debt. Her music played soft, unaware of what waited on her counter. Elias met me at the curb, calm as always. "Welcome, landlord," he said. "Let's deliver," I answered. He handed me 2 envelopes, the welcome letter and the notice to cure. Naya's instructions echoed in my mind. No speeches. No anger. Only facts. Inside, the bell chimed. Aurora turned, smile bright, voice polished. "Rose, what brings you here?" "Ownership transfer," I said. "New payment address. Also," I set the second envelope beside the register. "Your last check returned unpaid." She blinked, laughter forced. "That's impossible." "It's math," I said. The assistant behind her froze mid-steam, eyes wide. Aurora's tone turned sugar sharp. "Dylan handles finances. There must be a mix-up." "Then he can help you cure the default," I said. Her hand hovered above the papers. "You're serious?" "Completely." She tried charm. "We have a major event this weekend. I can't have this hanging over my store." "Then clear it today," I said. The silence cracked. "You hate me," she whispered. "No," I said. "I just collect what's mine." Behind her, the assistant slipped into the back room with her phone. I knew who she was calling. I walked out before the conversation could rot. Elias followed. "Expect noise," he said. "I prefer it to lies," I replied. Halfway to the car, my phone buzzed. "Dylan." I let it ring. He texted instead. Whatever you said to Aurora, undo it. You're destroying her business. I typed one line. I gave her the same chance you gave our marriage, short notice. At home, I scanned the delivery photo and emailed Naya. She answered in seconds. Perfect. Mail certified copies. Keep all receipts. Evening fell heavy. Online, Aurora posted a smiling photo beneath fairy lights. Excited for our bridal showcase. So grateful for my silent investor. She tagged Dylan. The world saw gratitude. I saw guilt. At sunset, the front door slammed. Dylan's fury entered first. What did you do? I sent notices, I said. She's fragile, he snapped. You'll bankrupt her. She did that herself. He paced. You bought that building to punish me. No, I said. To balance the books. You can't run property. You barely run your life. I run facts, I said. They don't lie. I placed 3 papers on the table: deed, lease, bank return. This is mine. This is hers. This is your signature. Any questions? He stared, lost. I gave Aurora a rent reduction. The old owner approved it. You must honor it. Show proof. He fumbled his phone, opened a photo. 1 page on boutique letterhead promising lower rent. A scrawled signature that mimicked the seller's. Another from him. No seal. No witness. I photographed it. Where's the original? He hesitated. It's scanned. Of what? He swallowed. The real one. I sent the image to Elias. Within minutes, his reply landed. Seller denies. Not his signature. Never met Dylan. Then Naya messaged. Forged. Keep quiet. I'll prepare affidavit. Dylan's face drained. You're going to ruin me. I'm going to reveal you, I said. He slammed the table. You won't get away with this. I already have. He left, slamming the door hard enough to shake glass. I waited for silence to settle, then opened my laptop. New mail from Aurora. Dylan promised reduced rent. Please confirm you'll honor it. She attached the same forged letter. Perfect symmetry. I forwarded it to Naya without a word. Her call came seconds later. Listen carefully, she said. We'll file a formal demand for the original tomorrow. The seller will swear under oath he never signed. Once that's public, Dylan's side deal becomes fraud. Stay calm, stay legal. I am calm, I said. Good. He'll panic. Don't let him use that panic to pull you in. After the call, I stood by the window. The streetlight caught the edge of my reflection, not the wife he betrayed, but the woman holding the ground beneath his lies. Down the block, the boutique light still glowed, oblivious to the clock already ticking against her. I whispered to the glass. Tick louder. At dawn, a courier would hand Aurora the legal demand for her side agreement. Within hours, the seller's sworn statement would expose Dylan's forgery, and my revenge would finally have teeth. Morning hit like a verdict. The courier arrived at sunrise with Naya's envelope, stamped, sealed, and lethal. Inside was 1 page. Produce the original side agreement within 48 hours or face legal action. No threats. Just truth written clean. By 8, Elias texted, delivered. Signed for. She looked pale. Perfect. I drove downtown and parked across from the boutique. Aurora stood inside reading the letter. Her smile vanished. She called someone. I didn't need to guess who. 2 minutes later, Dylan's name flashed on my screen. What are you doing? He hissed. Following procedure, I said. You think you can scare her with your lawyer tricks? I'm not scaring her. I'm documenting you. Rose, listen. No, I said. You listen. The seller swore under oath that he never signed your little agreement. He went silent. Then a shaky laugh. You're bluffing. Check the courthouse feed at noon, I said. Affidavits being filed. He hung up. I sat there watching the boutique window. Aurora paced like a trapped bird, phone pressed to her ear. Her assistant hovered near the counter. Then Aurora looked up, spotted my car and froze. I met her eyes and didn't look away. 10 Naya called. It's official. The signature is forged. The seller just signed the affidavit. So Dylan faked it, I said. Unless ghosts hold pens, she said. He'll panic. Stay calm. The next move is ours. At noon, Elias called. Tenant just dropped off a cashier's check. Full amount plus fees. Do you want to accept? Yes, I said. Let her pay rent to the woman she tried to erase. I signed the receipt myself. On the way out, the elevator doors opened. Aurora. Same flawless hair, same perfume that used to cling to my husband's coat. She stopped cold. You're enjoying this, she said. No, I said. I'm correcting it. He told me you'd gloat. I'm too busy counting. Her eyes flared. He said you'd lost your mind. I lost my patience, I said. She looked down at the envelope in her hand. He promised he'd fix it. He can't fix forged ink, I said and walked out. By the time I reached my car, a new message waited from Naya. Media may catch this. The affidavit's public. Good. Let them read. At home, Dylan waited in the kitchen, sleeves rolled up, a glass half empty. You're trying to ruin me, he said. I'm just exposing arithmetic. You don't understand. I was helping her survive. You used my savings to make her queen, I said. Now she can pay me rent for the throne. He slammed the glass down. You'll regret this. I already did. The day I married you. I walked past him straight to my desk and opened my laptop. 2 new messages blinked. From Naya. Affidavit filed. Fraud case opened. From Elias. Reporters are calling. They found Dylan's name on the documents. The clock on the wall ticked like a countdown. Dylan's footsteps echoed behind me. If this goes public, my firm will read what I read, I said. The truth. He tried one last plea. Rose, please. We can end this quietly. It's already loud, I said. And I like the sound. That night I couldn't sleep. I sat by the window watching the boutique lights burn late. Aurora was still there, alone, rearranging dresses in frantic patterns, pretending business as usual. At midnight, Dylan's car appeared outside her shop. He stormed in. Through the glass I saw them argue, hands flying, faces tight. She threw something across the counter. A framed photo shattered. I smiled. The cracks were spreading exactly where they belonged. When he drove away, Aurora stayed by the window, shaking. I watched her turn the sign to closed and lock the door. My phone buzzed. Naya again. The affidavit's trending on the business registry. Headline writers already chasing it. Sleep well, landlord. I closed my eyes and finally breathed. The woman who once begged for fairness now held proof, power and title, all clean, all legal. And the people who called me weak had just run out of walls to hide behind. By morning, the first headline would drop. Local boutique tied to forged lease agreement. And for the first time, Dylan and Aurora would realize the story now belonged to me. The morning began with my phone buzzing nonstop. I reached for it, half expecting another text from Dylan. Instead, a headline glared back at me. Local boutique tied to forged lease agreement. The article named Aurora's store. It mentioned an affidavit, a landlord named Rose Whitmore, and a possible financial connection to a married investor under investigation. My husband. I read every word twice, calm as ice. The story was already public. No need for revenge speeches now, the world was reading my silence. A message from Elias appeared next. Brace yourself. Reporters are calling. Then Naya's voice note followed. Say nothing. Forward every message to me. You've already won half the battle. By 8, my inbox filled with requests for comment. I typed a single sentence and saved it as an auto-reply. We follow the lease and the law. All inquiries to legal counsel. Outside, the city moved slow, but online fire spread fast. Aurora's boutique page posted a statement. We are victims of a jealous spouse's campaign of hate. My store stands for women and dreams. Below it, she tagged Dylan. His face smiled in her photos while his career burned in the comments. I forwarded the post to Naya. Her reply came fast. Ignore noise. Paper beats social media every time. At 10, the boutique's glass door opened for a city inspector. Clipboard in hand, badge polished. Routine follow-up, he said. Old sprinkler certificate expired. Need an updated safety check. A small issue. But it was all the delay Aurora's lawyer would need to stall my next move. I called Naya. She didn't flinch. I'll have it cured today. You pay, you photograph, and you keep every receipt. Don't let them claim neglect. By noon, a contractor was in the basement testing valves, water hissing through old pipes. All fine, he said, handing me a temporary certificate. I photographed it and sent it to Naya. Done. Her reply perfect. They can't weaponize dust against you. At 1, a courier arrived with new papers. A motion from Aurora's attorney claiming harassment and bad faith ownership. It demanded a temporary restraining order. Classic stall. Naya laughed when I called. Let them try. We'll file our opposition tonight. Full timeline, affidavit, bank returns, proof of rent, proof of cure, safety certificate. Judges love clean math. While she built the defense, Elias called. Rumor alert. Dylan's telling people you used community funds for the purchase. I exhaled slowly. It came from my grandmother's trust. Then the rumor dies, he said. Truth eats faster. At 3, the boutique blasted another post. A video of Aurora crying. I've worked my whole life for this store. Some people can't stand to see women succeed. Sympathy flooded in. Orders too. But every dress sold under that caption would pay my mortgage now. Still, the noise irritated me. I needed quiet. So I drove downtown, parked across the street, and just watched. Through the glass, Aurora smiled for customers, pretending headlines didn't exist. But the tremor in her hands told the truth. At 5, Naya called again. Our opposition's filed. Hearings tomorrow morning. You'll wear something simple. Speak only when asked. I'll do the talking. What about Dylan? I asked. He'll show up, she said. Men like that never miss their own downfall. Evening settled hard. I made tea, turned off the news, and opened my window. Across town, the boutique lights glowed like a stage refusing to close. I wondered how many people would shop tomorrow, unaware their favorite designer might be in court. My phone buzzed. Elias again. Seller's lawyer found a recording, Dylan asking for that favor letter weeks before the fake one appeared. The owner refused. Proof of intent. The last piece. I played the audio Naya forwarded. Dylan's voice was smooth, too confident. Just a quick note to help her with rent, he said on the recording. The seller's refusal came calm. Not legal, son. Don't ask again. Then the click of disconnection. I played it twice, memorizing every pause. Naya called minutes later. That recording seals everything. Judges adore evidence that speaks for itself. Good, I said. Because tomorrow he'll lie again. And I'll cut through it, she said. Sleep. You've earned it. I stood by the window watching the city dim. My reflection stared back, composed, controlled, finished. Across town, Aurora's store flickered under harsh white light. Inside, mannequins stood like ghosts in borrowed dresses. I whispered, the show's over, Aurora. Curtain falls tomorrow. At sunrise, I would walk into court with my folders in hand, only to see Dylan arrive with a new document, claiming he'd reassigned the lease before the sale. If it was real, it could threaten everything. The courthouse smelled like wet paper and fear. I walked in with Naya, my lawyer, carrying one black folder. She whispered, stay silent. Calm wins. Aurora sat at the front, pale but polished. Her lawyer stacked papers like shields. Then the door opened. Dylan walked in, wearing a smile too bright for daylight. He carried a thin folder, confidence dripping from every step. He glanced at me, mouth, watch me fix this. The judge entered. We're here on the tenant's motion for a restraining order, he said. Aurora's lawyer began. My client is a victim. The new landlord is using legal pressure out of jealousy. There was a rent reduction agreement, approved by the prior owner through Mr. Whitmore. I didn't move. Naya rose. Your Honor, we have facts. She placed our folder on the table. Title deed to Ms. Whitmore. Tenant ledger, returned payment. Tenant's estoppel signed that same day, certifying perfect compliance. Sworn affidavit denying any side agreement. Proof rent was cured. Safety certificate current. There is no harassment, only truth. The judge turned pages, brow tightening. Ms. Blake, you certified no defaults. Why? Aurora swallowed. Dylan told me everything was handled. The judge looked at him. Dylan stood smoothly, holding up his folder. Before the sale, a management company I represented executed a lease assignment. The tenant paid through that channel. The new owner acted prematurely. Show it, Naya said. He passed copies forward. The paper slid like poison. Naya read once, then looked up. Dated after the sale. No counter-signature. No record stamp. The company didn't exist a week before. Dylan forced a grin. We acted quickly to protect the tenant. From paying rent? Naya asked. The judge frowned. Miss Patel. She nodded. We have a recording of the seller refusing this very request. The courtroom stilled. Naya pressed play. Dylan's voice filled the air. Just a small favor letter. The seller's reply, not legal. Don't ask again. Silence. The judge's pen tapped once. Mr. Whitmore, did you sign without authority? It was a misunderstanding, he said. It was forgery, Naya corrected. Aurora's lawyer tried to save ground. My client acted in good faith. Naya didn't flinch. Faith doesn't override law. The judge leaned back. Motion denied. Rent belongs to the owner of record. Court adjourned. The gavel struck once. Aurora wilted. Dylan's face cracked, mask slipping. Naya leaned close. Perfect composure, she murmured. We stepped into the hall. Light spilled through tall windows. Dylan followed, voice low. You're ruining me. No, I said. You did that yourself. He leaned closer. You'll lose everything. Repairs, taxes, lawsuits, you're not built for this. I am now, I said. Aurora appeared, shaking. He told me you were cruel. He told me you were innocent, I said. He lied to both of us. Her eyes filled. If I pay on time, can I stay? You can obey the lease, I said. Nothing more. Naya's hand touched my arm. We're finished here. Outside, the sky felt sharper. The city noise sounded like applause. My phone buzzed. Elias. Inspector found an unpermitted back room in the boutique. Needs correction immediately. I showed it to Naya. She smiled thinly. Leverage. Quiet but strong. We walked down the courthouse steps. I could feel Dylan watching from behind the glass. Another buzz. His text glowed on the screen. Push me again, and I'll burn your name to the ground. I typed one line, then deleted it. He wanted reaction. I gave him silence. Let him start the fire. I owned the water. That night, his rumors would start spreading through investors and city offices. Until one official called me with something that could finish him instead. By nightfall, the whispers had begun. First a text from Elias. Hearing talk in real estate circles. Dylan spreading rumors. Says you used marital funds to buy the building. Then a call from Naya. Ignore it. Lies burn out faster than truth. Just document everything. But Dylan didn't stop. By morning, the local blog carried a post. Spiteful wife buys husband's lover's boutique to destroy her. His tone, his wording. I knew his fingerprints. Aurora reposted it with a broken heart emoji and a quote about female solidarity. The comments exploded. Some pitied her. Others tore into me. Perfect. Let them watch. Visibility makes predators careless. At 10 my phone rang again. A number I didn't know. Ms. Whitmore, a deep voice said. This is Inspector Rain's City Compliance Division. We've reviewed the boutique's files. There's an unpermitted backroom added last year. If you're the new owner, you'll need to address it. Finally, something real, not rumor. I'll cooperate fully, I said. He paused. Funny thing, the renovation paperwork lists Dylan Whitmore as project manager. Not your name. Not hers. I felt my pulse steady. Can you send copies? I already did, he said. You'll want your lawyer. The email came before I hung up. Scan forms, city stamps, and Dylan's signature claiming landlord approval months before I bought the building. He'd built that back room without permits. And in my father's words, when you fake one signature, you fake others easily. I called Naya. He signed as owner before the sale. That's criminal impersonation, she said flatly. Forward everything. We can turn this into leverage and a charge. By noon, the city site updated. Notice of violation. Aurora would have to correct it or face closure. I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. The system was already doing what I wanted. Still, Dylan pushed his lies harder. Investors called, polite but curious. Rose, there's chatter you misused joint funds. Care to comment? My funds came from a trust predating my marriage. I said. Ask your accountants, they'll confirm. Each time I hung up calmer than before. At 3, Aurora's assistant posted a video. Aurora crying under soft music, saying she never meant harm and just wanted peace. Behind her, the boutique lights flickered. Maybe stress, maybe guilt. Either way, her influencer act didn't match the city's bright red violation pending sticker on her window. I stood across the street watching her film sympathy on a stage I now owned. Elias parked beside me. She's falling apart, he said quietly. He's desperate. I've seen this spiral before, rumor, panic, mistake. He's close to the last one, I said. He nodded. You've got them surrounded. Just keep clean. I will, I said. No threats. Just paper. That night Dylan finally called. Not angry this time, frantic. Rose, listen to me. We can fix this. The press is twisting everything. You fed them, I said. I was protecting my reputation. You should have protected your integrity instead. He lowered his voice. If you file charges, my firm collapses. Then tell them the truth. I can't. You already did, to the inspector, to the bank, to the press. You just used different versions. Silence stretched. Then he whispered, You really are cold. No, I said. You mistook discipline for ice. He hung up. I sat alone in the quiet house, the glow from my laptop painting the walls gold. My name trended online, half as villain, half as legend. But behind the noise, a notification blinked, new email. City Compliance Department. I opened it. Attached was an inspection memo, stamped confidential. Evidence suggests signatures on prior building permits were falsified by Dylan Whitmore. Formal investigation recommended. I leaned back slowly. My pulse didn't rise. It lowered, steady, like the rhythm of inevitability. Tomorrow, when that report reached his partners, the rumors would stop speaking. Facts would. Before dawn, Dylan would call again. Not to threaten, but to beg. Because the city wasn't just investigating the boutique anymore. They were investigating him. The call came before sunrise. Dylan's name flashed again and again until I answered. His voice was trembling. Rose, please. They're suspending me. The city found the forged permits. My firm's investigating every file I ever touched. I sat up slowly. Then stop touching what isn't yours. It was a shortcut, he said. Everyone does it. Everyone doesn't sign as owner of a building they don't own. Silence. I could hear his breathing, sharp and uneven. If you retract your complaint, they'll drop it. I never filed one, I said. The city found your mess on its own. He hung up. By morning, Naya called. Inspector Rains will issue a correction order today. We'll cooperate and look professional. Calm always wins. At 9, the notice was taped to the boutique door. Red letters. Unpermitted room. Immediate correction required. Aurora stood frozen, clutching the paper. Customers pretended not to see. Her assistant peeled the notice down and whispered something that sounded like a prayer. I crossed the street. The bell chimed when I entered. Aurora's eyes were wet. What happens now? You fix what your partner built illegally, I said. Follow the schedule, pay on time, and you'll stay open. She looked desperate. He promised. He promises lies, I said. The city doesn't accept those. I left her with the paper back on the door. Outside, Naya texted. Dylan's firm just released a statement. He's on leave. They're auditing all his projects. The rumors hit harder. Bloggers called me a jealous landlord. Aurora posted that she was being bullied by her ex-lover's wife. Sympathy poured in. It didn't matter. The truth had already left the courthouse. By noon, Inspector Rains phoned. Appreciate your quick response, Ms. Whitmore. We reviewed records. Dylan signed those permits as owner months before your purchase. That's criminal impersonation. Will you pursue it? I asked. We'll forward to the district office, he said. Stay reachable. I hung up and stared at the city skyline. My revenge was no longer personal, it was official. An hour later, Dylan appeared in Naya's lobby. She texted me mid-meeting. He's here. Wants a deal. I drove over. He waited near the elevator, pale and frantic. We can fix this, he said. You just have to say I handled renovations with your consent. That would be another lie, I said. He held out a check. Your savings. Every cent back. I don't want your paper, I said. I want silence. He stepped closer. If you ruin me, I'll take you down too. You think people believe you're innocent? You're vindictive, cold. No, I said quietly. I'm precise. Naya opened her door behind me. We're done here, Mr. Whitmore. He glared, then left without the check. That evening, I stood by my window watching the boutique lights flicker. A small crowd had gathered for her planned sale, but half turned away after seeing the red notice. The rumor storm had lost its rhythm. Elias called. A buyer's asking about the second suite. They like that the building's under honest ownership. I smiled. Honesty is trending again. My phone buzzed once more. Inspector Rains. Final note, he said. We'll open the unpermitted wall tomorrow. Need you there to sign off. I'll be ready, I said. After the call, I made tea and sat in the quiet. My name was still on the blogs, but the tone had shifted. The words forged, investigation, suspension replaced jealous and angry. The story was rewriting itself without my help. At midnight, Dylan called again. They froze my accounts, he said. I'm ruined. You forged your own cage, I said. You'll be alone, he whispered. I already am, I said. And it's peaceful. He didn't answer. The line clicked dead. I walked to the table, looked at the folders lined like trophies. Ownership, affidavit, compliance, noise. Every paper was a victory written in ink. Outside, the city slept. Across the street, the boutique stood dark except for one backlight, the illegal room he built to impress her. Tomorrow that wall would come down, and what was hidden behind it would decide how deep his fall would go. At dawn, the contractor would open the wall and find a stack of hidden invoices. Fake companies, fake signatures, everyone tied to Dylan's secret accounts. Morning broke cold and sharp. The contractor, Inspector Rains, and I met behind the boutique where Dylan's secret room waited. Aurora arrived late, eyes swollen, voice flat. Dylan didn't come. Cowards never do. Rains gave the signal. The blade hit drywall. A dull crack, then dust. Inside the wall, plastic wrapping. He pulled it free and a binder slid out, heavy and clean. Invoices. Dozens of them. Fake company names. Each signed, authorized by D. Whitmore. My husband's signature repeated like a confession. Rains flipped pages. These vendors don't exist, he said. Every payment routed to the same private account. Aurora's hand trembled. He said it was tax paperwork. Normal. Normal doesn't hide behind walls, I said. He sealed the binder. This goes to the district office. You'll get a copy. We'll take it from here. Aurora stared at me, voice breaking. I didn't know. You knew enough to cash my money, I said. Rains signed the chain of custody log. We'll contact you when charges are filed. Stay reachable. Always, I said. When they left, the contractor looked at the hole. You want me to rebuild it? Yes, I said. Do it legal this time. He nodded. Clean work starts with open walls. Aurora stood by the window, shaking. You won, she whispered. No, I said. I survived. By noon, I sat in Naya's office. She scrolled through the scanned invoices. This is fraud across multiple properties, she said. He used your funds to build a network. What happens now? Restitution, she said. Maybe charges. You'll get your money back. He'll get a record. My phone buzzed. Dylan's message. I'm sorry. I never meant for this. I stared at it until it blurred, then archived it under history. Outside, the sky cleared. The boutique stood quiet, stripped of glamour. The red notice was gone. In its place, a white paper. Reconstruction in progress, authorized by owner. Elias met me on the sidewalk. Inspector says the new work's already approved. You fixed the storm. I didn't fix it, I said. I outlasted it. He smiled. Same thing. Across the glass, Aurora arranged a single dress under a sign. Open by honesty. No hashtags. No excuses. Maybe she'd learned. That evening, Naya called. City forwarded the file to prosecutors. His firm froze his accounts. You'll see movement soon. And me. You rest, she said. Your story's steady now. I walked through my quiet house. No shouting, no pretending. On my desk lay the final folders. Ownership, ledger, affidavit, compliance, restitution. Each one proof that I'd rebuilt what he tried to bury. Outside, the lights glowed over Maple Street. Honest lights. Paid lights. My phone lit up again, Dylan. I didn't answer. The message previewed anyway. They're coming for me. I hope you're proud. I was. I deleted it and opened a new document titled Final Statement. I typed slowly, clearly, for the women who would listen later. Revenge isn't rage. It's order. It's counting when they expect you to cry. It's law written in calm sentences. Then I looked at the camera and pressed record. My name is Rose Whitmore, I said softly. My husband stole my savings for his mistress's boutique. I bought the building, the truth, and my peace. If someone calls you weak, build proof instead. Silence is power when the paper speaks. The recording light blinked red. The tea steamed beside me. I ended with the only line that mattered. Keep your receipts. By the ground beneath there lies. The camera clicked off. The room stayed bright. Outside, the street hummed with traffic. Normal again, finally mine.